Dear students, welcome to Tungala online classes. Today I am going to start with a new chapter, that is chapter number 9, biomolecules. Right? What is biomolecules are? The question arises here. It is very interesting, and at molecular level you are going to learn these aspects under this heading, that is biomolecules. What these biomolecules are? Let us analyze the heading first. So what is biomolecules are? See here, biomolecules. Bio in the sense that biological entities. Biological entities, these are nothing but chemical molecules. Chemical molecules, these are. So these chemical molecules that makes the biological entities. Chemical molecules that make the biological entities. So those chemicals are nothing but biochemicals or biomolecules. So see here. So why these make the, how these chemicals that make the biological entities is, so they are responsible for the structure of these biological entities, that is nothing but living organisms. Living organisms, these biological entities are. So their structure is made up of these molecules, as well as these molecules are responsible for both functions here, structure as well as functions here. And such kind of molecules are said to be as biomolecules. So I hope you have understood a little bit about biomolecules. These are biological molecules which makes the structure as well as which are responsible for performing the functions of the living systems or the living organisms is called as biomolecule. Right? So I hope you might have understood these ones. Right? And these molecules, biomolecules, see here, these biomolecules are making the body of the organisms, or they are responsible for performing the functions of the body of the organisms. So this is the question arises. How they are responsible? How do you say the body of the organisms is made up of these biomolecules? Which are those biomolecules? How to analyze this? The question arises. See here, very simple. Some of the analytical methods are there in chemistry, right? Those analytical methods are used so as to analyze the chemical nature of living systems or the living organisms. Maybe it is a single cell also, right? So in chemistry we know some methods to analyze the chemical nature of living systems. Living systems, they are nothing but organisms. Living systems, or they are nothing but organisms. Okay, this is one point we noted. So in any one of the method we can analyze the tissues of these, maybe plant tissues, right, and animal tissues, or microbial paste. So all these are analyzed. When these are chemically analyzed, that moment we come to know 25 similar elements, the body of these organisms or the contents of these tissues of all these organisms, so have a common 25 elements. Means they are made up of 25 common elements. Most of these 25 common elements, see here, carbon is there, hydrogen is there, oxygen is there, nitrogen is there. Most of the part of the body of these organisms or the tissues, the contents, the chemical contents of these one is made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen as well as nitrogen. These are major ones. These makes maximum part of the dry weight of the tissues. Right? These make the maximum part of the dry weight of these tissues. Among them, carbon is the major one. So among these one, 95% of the system, living system is made up of carbon. Hence, the entire body of living organisms itself is made up of organic compounds. Right? It contains carbon containing compounds that make the living systems. Hence, so maximum part is organic. Right? So these living systems are made up of maximum organic systems, also organic compounds they are made up of. Right? So organic compounds, these are made up of. The living systems are made up of. So this is the fact what we came to know. Right? When you compare the same things to the earth crust, say for example the earth crust, when you analyze the earth crust on a simple rock itself, when you analyze the chemical content of a simple rock on the earth crust, so there you will come across the same kind of elements. These are also made up of. So these are non-living. These are non-living systems whose structure is also made up of. It is also made up of same elements. Right? They are also made up of same elements. There also we come across CH, and all other compounds, right? So that's why. So what it suggests us? What is this comparative study suggests us? Of course, there are maximum number of elements are there in the earth crust. So utilizing all those elements, these living organisms are growing indirectly. So all those elements are got through the plants by absorption of water. It takes maximum number of minerals as well as all the elements. So and those elements indirectly they enter into our body through food consumption. Right? So this is how the chemicals what these organisms are made up of. The same chemical elements are present in the earth crust. So in the NCERT book, one table is given over there, and that table shows us what are the elements so that are present in the earth crust, what are the elements that are making the living systems. So both are given with their respective percentage also. Right? Let us analyze that table, then we will come to know what are the elements. So these body systems, living systems as well as the non-living systems are commonly having. Let us see. Yes, see the table now. See here, these are the elements that are present in both earth crust as well as human body. Right? So they are the common elements present in that. So and percentage weight of the elements in the earth crust as well as human body. Let us analyze it. See here. So hydrogen is about 0.14% in earth crust and it is 0.5% in human body. It shows shows that hydrogen is present both in earth crust as well as human body. In the same way, carbon, it is 0.03% in case of the air or in the earth crust, and it is about 18.5. Already I have mentioned this body is made up of organic compounds, that is nothing but carbon containing compounds. Hence maximum part of the body is made up of what? Carbon containing compound. Hence the carbon content is 18.5 in case of human body. And the next one, oxygen. It is about 46.6. That is about 47, around 46. So percentage of oxygen is there in the earth crust, and 65.0% is there in the human body. Right? Due to respiration, inhalation, so the intake of the oxygen is being done over here. Next one, nitrogen. It is very little or negligible in earth crust. Why? Because in earth crust it is very negligible, but it is in air or oxygen, it is about maximum. Right? So maximum percentage of nitrogen is present in the air or oxygen, nitrogen. Right? And the next one, nitrogen is 3.3% in case of human body. Nitrogen containing compound, nitrogen bases, all these together form 3.3% of the nitrogen in human body. And the next one, sulfur, it is also 0.03, almost equivalent to carbon in case of earth crust, and it is 0.3% in case of human body. Right? It is present. In the same way, sodium is there 2.8 and 0.2% in human's body. And in the same way, calcium is there 3.6. It is about 1.5 in the human's body, which makes mainly the endoskeletal system of the human body. Right? Next one, magnesium is also there 2.1%, and it is 0.1% in case of the human body. The same way, silicon itself is 27.7% in earth crust, that is in soil, and it is very negligible in case of human's body. Right? So this is how we can analyze the percentage of the weight of the individual elements present both in earth crust as well as human's body. What it suggests is the living systems as well as non-living system consisting of the same kind of elements over here. Right? This is the conclusion. Then how to analyze the chemical composition of any living system is the question here. How to analyze chemical composition right? This is the question analysis. So how to analyze them? What are the methods are there with us? So this is the question. One has to analyze the chemical component. So see here, if any tissue, maybe plant tissue, is taken over here. Say for example, vegetables are taken over here. Or else you may take animal tissue, taken from the liver of the human body, right? So from these vegetables as well as liver, you take respective animal as well as plant tissue, right? And after that one, you will have to analyze the chemical composition of both of these one, right? Both of these one will have to analyze. How to analyze? What are the methods of analysis? What are the methods of analysis of the chemical analysis of the? So number one, what is that? Acid soluble test. Acid solvable test is there. And the second one is ash analysis is also there. So during the first test, how to do it? So take vegetables or liver tissue, and so take this one, liver tissue or vegetable, and these two are grinded with trichloroacetic acid. So these are grinded with trichloroacetic acid in mortar and pestle. In mortar as well as pestle, by using these one, we'll have to grind them with the trichloroacetic acid. Then we get two fractions. What are those two fractions? See here, one fraction is acid soluble fraction. One is acid soluble fraction, and the second one is acid insoluble fraction. There are two fractions that we come across. One is acid soluble fraction and acid insoluble fraction. In animals or in living systems, maximum organic compounds were found in acid soluble fraction itself. So many organic compounds are found in acid soluble fraction. Right? So there are two fractions that we come across when it is grinded. The tissue of animal as well as plant are grinded in mortar as well as pestle itself. By using these two, so when they are grinded, we get two fractions there. Right? And these fractions are also called as filtrate as well as retentate. See here, acid soluble fraction is also known as filtrate. Acid insoluble fraction is known as retentate. Like this, there are two fractions that we come across here. In acid soluble fraction, there are some compounds that we come across whose molecular weight is less than 800 daltons, and these molecules are called as biomolecules. These are called as biomicromolecules whose molecular weight is less than 800 daltons. Right? They are called as biomicromolecules. And next one, if the molecular weight of molecules is more than 800 daltons, 10,000 daltons, and such kind of molecules are called as biomolecules. They are called as biomacromolecules. So this way the chemical components or the molecules, biomolecules, are classified into two groups. One is biomicromolecules and next one is biomacromolecules. See here, in biomacromolecules, there we can give some of the examples. That is what proteins we can say. Okay, carbohydrates as well as nucleic acids. These are the best examples over here. So even the lipids are also here, but their molecular weight is about less than 800 daltons, right? So less than 800 daltons, then these are called as biomicromolecules. In cell membrane, so these lipids have non-polar polar fatty acid tails are over here. So these are considered as biomicromolecules. These lipids are not considered as biomacromolecules. So all others like proteins, carbohydrates, so nucleic acids, these are respectively as biomacromolecules whose molecular weight is more than 800 daltons, and that extend up to 10,000 daltons over here. So that's why. So these biomolecules are basically classified into two types. One is biomicromolecules and second one is biomacromolecules over here. See here, in NCERT we are starting with the biomicromolecules first and later we go to the biomacromolecules. See here, biomacromolecules, biomicromolecules. So this way we study over here. So there are two types of biomolecules that we come across. And in higher studies, usually you will come to know how to analyze the chemical composition of the tissues of plants as well as animals, even the microbial paste also you will come to know. So whenever we are analyzing the chemical composition of any one of the tissue, maybe plant tissue or animal tissue, whenever we are analyzing the chemical composition, so that moment what happens? During chemical composition, analysis of chemical composition, one compound is separated from all other compounds. One compound is extracted and it is separated from all other compounds. Then we come to know how the structure or structural formula of this compound we can analyze. Even structural formula along with the structural formula, its molecular formal structure, we can come to know. Molecular structure also will come to know, as well as its structural formula we come to know. So all these are the analytical aspects we do in higher studies, in higher classes. We do them very easily there also. And one more method of analysis of this chemical component is chemical composition of any tissue is ash analysis that we come across. During ash analysis, what is to be done? Right? Let us see now. The main intention of ash analysis is, so this body or the living systems are not only made up of the organic compounds but also made up of inorganic components, right? So what it suggests us is, when we chemically analyze the organisms tissues, that is plant as well as animal tissues, there we come across that living systems are made up of both organic as well as inorganic components, right? Let us see. See here, ash analysis is also another method of identification, so or the trace out of the chemical composition of organisms. Why ash analysis is done? So it is done to know whether body of organisms is made up of only organic compounds. No, it also made of inorganic components, also made up of inorganic components. See here how to do this ash analysis technique. See here, when you take the tissue of the liver or tissue of vegetable, that is nothing but plant, its weight is taken over here. When you take out the tissue, that moment its weight is taken over here, that weight is called as wet weight of the tissue. It is called as wet weight of the tissue. See here, when the tissue is dried, when the tissue is dried, it becomes dry weight. If you take the weight now after drying, the watery substance what it is there inside the tissue, it evaporates out, and later we have to take the weight of that tissue, then it is said as dry weight. It is wet weight, this is dry weight, both the weight that we have taken. Now this dry weight, so dry weight having a tissue, this tissue, dried tissue, the dried tissue is burnt completely. It is burnt completely. When the dried tissue is burnt completely, it is burnt into ash. What it becomes completely, then it becomes what? Ash. Right? And during the ash formation, what happens? So it oxidize carbon containing aspects along with the water. So all these oxidize over here so as to will get what? Ultimately, the ash will get. This ash, when it is analyzed, this ash, when it is analyzed, there we come across many number of inorganic components. What we come across? Inorganic components that we come across here. What are those inorganic components that we come across here are, so sometimes some of the inorganic compounds like sulfur is present over here, and some of the gases like hydrogen is also present over here, and calcium is present over here, and some other aspects that are present over here itself. See here, so sulfates are present over here, even phosphates are also present over here, calcium is there, hydrogen is there, oxygen is there. So many number of inorganic components are found over here in the ash. What it suggests us? So it suggests us that the living systems are not only made up of the organic compounds, that is carbon containing compounds, but also made up of many inorganic components also, right? So both together play very important role of the living systems, so or in the living systems. This is the fact what we come to know by these two tests. One is acid analysis test, and so second one is ash analysis test. So these are the two tests that we perform so as to know the chemical composition of these living systems. So let us see the list of these inorganic components present in respective organisms itself, right? So let us see that list which is given in NCERT first. Yes, let us see the table now. So a list of representative inorganic constituents of living tissues. See here the major components as well as formula are given in this table. So the components are the sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, water as well as other compounds like sodium chloride, so calcium carbonate as well as phosphates as well as sulfates. All these are the inorganic components that are seen in the living systems. So it is the list which is given in NCERT. We must be thorough with all these lists. So very important one. So we will go to the cellular pool now. What is this cellular pool? The question arises. Cellular pool is nothing but a cell contains many number of biomolecules as well as many of the ions, right? All together called as cellular pool. See here, cellular pool is nothing but a cell contains many number of components, that is biomolecules we can say, as well as many of the ions we come across here. All together form cellular pool. All together form cellular pool. Right? It forms cellular pool, right? And this cellular pool, as I said, it contains many biomolecules as well as ions. And this cellular pool mainly consisting of what? Inorganic as well as organic substances. Inorganic one are usually present in, as well as organic one are usually present in different phases. Especially inorganic one are present in a aqueous phase, and the organic ones are present in both aqueous as well as colloidal phase. Aqueous phase as well as colloidal phase. So these organic ones are present, and these inorganic ones, they do not have carbon as well as hydrogen components forming compounds. It includes, it only includes salts over here, NaCl is salt, right? So such kind of salts consisting of salts as well as even sometimes water, right? So these are mainly present in the inorganic part, and in organic part we will come across what? Many of the biomolecules like carbohydrates. What it consisting of? Carbohydrates. It consisting of proteins. It consisting of lipids. Okay. So all such kinds of organic compounds. So that is nucleic acids. All these are present in biomolecules. So which are present in organic part. Means all these together form the organic part, and all these together form the inorganic part. So that are present in the living system or in a cell. Right? We are focusing on a single cell now. So not the entire tissue or not the entire part of the body. Right? So we are focusing on the cellular components only here in this case. So that's why what the heading is cellular pool itself. This cellular pool mainly consisting of many number of biomolecules and many number of ions that makes the structural aspects as well as functional aspects of the cell. Right? So it consisting of both inorganic components as well as organic components. Inorganic components are always in aqueous form or aqueous phase. These are present in aqueous as well as in the colloidal phases itself. Right? So this is the things what we have to understand initially. See here, next one, this cellular pool, what it consisting of these biomolecules. So this consisting of, or it maintains its composition, maintains its composition. How it maintains its composition is, it maintains its composition by intake as well as exit of the molecules. So one, it may intake the molecules or it may exit the molecules. The waste products are exit out, and the products or the molecules what are required for construction of the cell or the function of the cell, they are intaken over here. By this way, maintenance of this chemical composition that take place by cellular pool itself. Right? Cell maintains all these aspects. Right? So that is osmosis, endosmosis, exosmosis, diffusion. So facilitated diffusion. All these are the aspects would help for such kind of activity. So through which the cell maintains all its functions itself. Right? So this is one more fact that we must understand from this cellular pool. So totally in this introductory part of this chapter, what we came across is, so what are biomolecules? Right? What they are responsible for? They are responsible for what? They are responsible for totally the major functions as well as structure of the living systems. Right? What are biomicromolecules? What are biomacromolecules? this difference also we came to know, right? So there are some biomolecules, they are classified into two groups. One is biomacromolecules, another one is biomicromolecules. That way we classified them totally. And so how to analyze the chemical composition of the living systems? That is, it may be a single cell, or it may be a tissue, or it an organ itself, right? So organ itself is made up of tissues. That's why we analyze simply the tissue itself, the chemical composition of tissue itself, right? So how to do with the help of two? So test, acid solubility test as well as ash analysis test are the test used over here, right? How to do them and how to come to know what are the components that are forming the structure as well as functions of the living system. So there also we analyzed, right? So this way in this class we totally come to know what biomolecules are, what are the types of biomolecules. See here, biomicromolecules, example I am going to quote over here. One example, amino acids are the biomicromolecules whose molecular weight is less, so 800 Daltons, right? And these amino acids all together form what? Biomacromolecules. Biomacromolecules, that is nothing but protein molecules. So, and one more thing I would like to give an example. See here, simple sugars are there. They are simply monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, disaccharides. So polysaccharides. These are different types of carbohydrates that we come across. Simple sugars, monosaccharides, all together form the polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are nothing but biomicromolecules. Polysaccharides are nothing but carbohydrates are nothing but biomacromolecules. This is also one more example of the same. And the next one more example we can give over here. So lipids, these are considered as biomicromolecules. What is the reason behind that one? It is also explained here, right? So this way, the different types of biomolecules that we are going to learn. So in this chapter thoroughly. So this is the biochemistry part. So you may face some difficulties in it, but need not to worry about it. So you will find them. So you will learn them very easily, right?